Call the regular monthly meeting of the Rockwood City Council to order. This time we'll stand for the invocation by former Councilman Evans. Remain standing, pledge American flag. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor, for the privilege. Thank you. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for another great day you've given us. As your word teaches us, it's a day you have created. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Blessings of health and life and prosperity to all the citizens of Rockwood. We bless the mayor tonight, this council, that they'll conduct the business tonight that benefits our town. Thanks to all the success we've seen so far and what we'll see in the future. Bless our law enforcement, fire department officials, city workers. Protect us all, Lord, in your will. And all this we ask in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen and amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilman Bryant.
Here.
Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Fuller.
Here.
Councilman Holloway.
Here.
Councilwoman Wilson. Here. Mayor Miller.
Here. All present. We do have a quorum. You've received the minutes from the May 23rd, 2022 meeting. Is there any additions or corrections? I hear none. Do I hear a motion to be approved?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second? Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Holloway?
Nothing.
Councilwoman Evans? Anyone? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Next item is presentation and approval of financials May 2022. Do I hear a motion to be approved as submitted?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Wilson. Councilman Fuller.
We'll just stand it over to Ms. Ruby.
Yield the floor to Ms. Ruby.
You have a copy of all the bank statements in your packet. As of May 31st in the general fund, we had $1,169,265.12. Reserve and emergency, we had $347,583.39. Payroll, $72,071.23. Drug fund, $63,348.95. State street aid, $247,600.75. Small drug fund had $7,107.54. Capital projects, $743,896.87 for a total of $2,571,695.08. Attached to that report are the bank statements themselves. And you also have a copy of the summary financials. This shows the state of each department at the end of May 31st and the revenues. Through May 31st, we had taken in 91.3% of what we projected for the year, and we had only spent 78.8%. So all the department heads have worked especially hard this year. We say it about them every year, but they've worked very hard at keeping within their budgets, and that makes helps us build our fund balance, and we appreciate that. You also have a copy of the reconciled and unreconciled checks for the month of May. And at the back of that, or it may be in your miscellaneous reports, I have the report for the airport. Through May 31st, we have taken in $130,458.21 in fuel sales. And that's 130% of what we had budgeted, because we thought we'd bring in around $100,000. Hangar rentals, and some of these, Belinda brought to my attention last week, few of these have paid for the year, so some of this money at the end of June 30th will be moved back, about $4,000 or $5,000. It's not a lot, but will be moved back to put into next year. So we've taken in $103,534.17, which is 138% of what we had budgeted, which was $75,000. So all departments are doing well, airport's doing well, and all is good. If you have questions, I'll be glad to try to answer.
Anything further, Councilman Fuller?
No, sir.
Councilwoman Wilson?
No, sir.
Anyone else? I'd like to go over that, give you some ideas on the revenues that we've done so well this year. Our state our local sales tax, we budgeted a little over 1.6 million. We've already brought in 1.5, and we have 2 months remaining. If you divide that 1.6 by 12, it's around 144,000. So we're going to be over between $100,000 and $200,000 in local sales tax. On our business tax, we budgeted $120,000. We've already brought in $145,000 because our clerks have worked so hard to get it updated and bring it in. Building inspector, we budgeted $25,000 in building permits this year. He's already brought in $70,954. So that's 258%. State sales tax, we budgeted $500,000. We still got 2 months left. We've already brought in $574. So I just wanted to give you some updates on that. Golf course, we budgeted $120,000 in revenue. We've already brought in $131,000. So probably the best the golf course has ever done. So we're proud of all of our department heads and what they've done, and our clerks and stuff bringing that in. Anything further on the financial report? Call roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Yes. Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Before we move on to public comments, we've got some people that I want to recognize tonight, that I want them to come. I want to give you a little update. For the first time ever, the city of Rockwood has 2 representatives in the state Dixie Youth Baseball Tournament. We've had 2 representatives before, but one of them earned it and the other one was because we hosted it. Which, you know, we've hosted some state tournaments down here. These 2 teams that we're going to recognize tonight both earned it on the field. And I was happy to get to watch 3 of the games of one of the teams. But these kids have done a phenomenal job. Their coaching staff has done a phenomenal job. And I knew we wouldn't have a meeting before they played in the state tournament. So I called them today and asked them to get them here today, and they have. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to recognize the coach and let him introduce his staff and his players. And I want the coach to come up here. You little bitty fella. Joe Daniels is the head coach. 8 and under, small individual, but he's going to come up here and I want him to introduce his assistant coaches and the players that play for you. They are the 8 and under team.
I'm Joe Daniels. My assistant coaches are Xander Price. He's not present yet. Brian Phillips.
Come on down, Brian. You don't be bashful.
Brian Scarborough. And then our kids, Shelby Jackson, Cy Willis, Titan Daniels, Liam Scarborough, Luke Phillips, Elijah McGraw, Tanner Massey, Eden Johnson, Jaden Gonzalez, Weston Beeson, and Zaylen Price.
Now, where's Willis at? Got them sunglasses on, ain't you, boy? Looking good. Looking good. Hey, let's hear it for this ball team. They done right. We want you all to represent the city of Rockwood well. Y'all have a great time. Do good, and we'll see you in Greenbrier and at about July the 7th, right, Joe?
That's right.
Congratulations again. Thank y'all. Okay, the next one is the 10 and under team. They're going to Savannah and playing the next week, which would be July 14th, I think. So their head coach is Matt Goddard. Matt, would you come up, please, and introduce your staff and your players?
Before I introduce my players and my staff, I want everybody to know that the 8 and under team that earned their spot were actually district champions. They didn't just come runner-up like we did. They got their championship. So my coach and staff is Matt Cantrell, Andy Willis. My players are Jackson Stout, Cade Jackson, Connor Clark, Jaden Godsey, Ethan Pitts, Caven Brackett, Brantley Goddard. Now bring it trouble. Don't leave that alone. Kellen Davidson, Kyson Sexton, Cooper Willis, and Julian Cantrell.
They've even got a daddy hat.
That's right.
Congratulations to this team. Like I said, they go to Savannah. We want them to do real, real well too, and they will, so make us proud. Let's hear it. The next thing I want to say is, I know you don't want to hear the rest of this stuff. Now's the time to leave. Thank y'all for coming. Congratulations, boy. Okay, moving on to public comments. We always like to open the floor to anyone that'd like to address the mayor and council. All that we ask is you can stand where you are, just state your name and address, and this will be the last time you'll be able to address the mayor and council unless a council member yields the floor to you. Anyone? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm Kenny Allred. I live out on Rockwood Mountain, so I'm a Rockwoodian, but just a little bit out here. I think you're allies of ours, and we're here tonight. We're hoping to get our airport road fixed. We know Rockwood's not going to do it, but we also know that Rockwood loses a lot of money and we lose a lot of convenience coming down the mountain. I came down there tonight, went through Harriman, but I came over here and bought my gas and still got to spend a little more. That's $350. So we got a lot of folks that probably we're losing money, of course, on that. But we have a VA clinic. Of course, I went to school here, graduated in 1966, went off to Tennessee Tech. Where's your hometown? Rockwood, Tennessee. Went off to the Army for 20 years. Where's your hometown? Rockwood, Tennessee. But we just feel disconnected. So I would let you know about a meeting that we're going to have for anybody that wants to attend it, if you don't mind my announcing it. Community meeting of folks out at Pine Orchard Community Center. Pine Orchard Community Center, and that is out on Highway 299 North, just in the edge of Morgan County out there. So they've offered to let us use their place, and we've got several office holders that are coming out there, and I guess maybe some candidates, and hopefully around 150 people. So we'd like to have you come out there if you would. Come for the meeting, stay for the watermelon and the music, is what we say. So if you got a watermelon, bring it, or if you've got a guitar, bring it.
When is that, Mr. Allred?
Sir?
When is that?
That is going to be on June 25th, that's Saturday, June 25th, and that is going to be at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll give you a copy of this right here if you want it, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, here, I'll come get it. You should
All right,
see it.
all right. And I don't know if it's out of line to ask y'all to sign their sign, but I'm getting some of the businesses in Rockwood to do it as I go around and And then we're gonna put it up somewhere there you go.
How many copies have you got?
I got several of them. Would you like? Hey, there we go. Some of them are different here.
That'd be fine.
Billy back here, my buddy, Billy Gibson, he put some together. He lives out there too, so, you know, of course, it's hard to get her mail and everything. You know all about the difficulty. We're just saying you are our allies in this, we think. And if we can find the resources, we do have the will. And I know from this group there, y'all have tried really hard to get that done. Thank you, ma'am, for letting us know about that. Any of you that come out there,
Anybody want to
show
sign
the
this?
flag. Please do that and let folks know about it. We'd just love to have you out there if you can come to that meeting. It's not going to be, you don't have to prepare anything to say. It's just kind of a listening session and see how many folks show up that want that done. So, any questions, sir?
No, I'm good.
I
Thank
just
you.
come from the farm, so you have to excuse my appearance.
You look fine, and we'll put that sign up out there so people can see it about the meeting, okay?
It's okay if we put one out there, or are you going to put one
We're
out?
gonna
I'll
take
put
care of
one
it,
out
she's
there.
got it.
Good, thank you. Good to see y'all again. Good to see you, Greg. Thank you.
Anyone else? Again, we want to thank everyone for coming, we appreciate you participating. Committee reports from council, do we have any tonight? Anyone have any? Okay, moving on to old business, ordinance 1287, second final reading, ordinance for the city of Rockwood, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate on second reading for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2023. We will now have a public hearing on ordinance 1287. Public hearing is now open. Anyone like to address the council on the public hearing for ordinance 1287, second final reading on the budget? Anyone?
I do.
Thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Mayor, I will.
Get it on the floor.
Yeah, just quickly.
Yes.
Thank you, Dudley Evans, 456 South Kingston Avenue. Just, you went over the budget last time. Maybe some viewers that may not know exactly. You don't have to go through it this time. Just mention that, I think no tax increase. If you want to highlight it a little bit, that would be fine. Thank you.
For anybody that wants to hear.
But good news, thankful for all of you and how you keep the tax rate low. That's good.
Our tax rate will stay at, be no tax increase, it will stay at .9220. The main increases in it that you'll see is the salary adjustments and bumps that we did for our employees. We left the $1,000 Christmas bonus in there. The other big ones are the fuel, where we've had to raise the fuel at this time. And we raised some revenues. Let me go over those because we wanted to get them. You heard me read earlier about the revenues going up. So we wanted to raise some of the revenues. So we raised our property tax. We've been putting it at $800,000. We raised it to $830,000 and some other revenues that we added. So we just, again, moved that up. We put the ARC money in there. It's in the line item. You'll see it on page 16. I think it's under capital projects. We talked about the things we could do with it, but in the budget, it's not broke down. It's just in the amounts that we're going to get, the two amounts we're going to get. So to me, that's the highlights. The big highlight to me is that we're able to keep the tax rate what it was, no tax increase. And the other one is, I think we've done a fabulous job, this council has, of taking care of our employees in this budget. So the public hearing, is there anybody else wants to address the public hearing?
I would just ask one more thing, Mayor. Sometimes abbreviations are used in city politics. A lot of folks don't understand what ARP is. Could you explain that as
That's the
American Rescue?
pandemic money that we've got from the federal government and the state government.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Public hearing is now closed. We'll move on to ordinance 1287, second and final reading. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Wilson. Councilman Holloway.
Now, you discussed the main things, and that was our no tax increase and raises for our employees. And I think that's the two big items in our Christmas bonus. So I back this 100%, Mayor.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Same as Councilman Holloway, I back at 100% there.
Anyone else? Councilwoman Evans, go ahead.
Yes, the same thing as I said last time. I am against the way that we have done the pay raises for our employees. We had stated we were going to give the employees a 4% raise. That should be across the board. If you take out 3 or 4 and give them from $6,000 to $10,000 raise and not the other employees, to me, that's saying that those employees are not as important as those few. I think everybody should be given the same amount of raise that we said at first, 4% across the board. It should be left that way. Now, if any of the employees feel like they are better suited for this same job somewhere else that can make a larger amount of money, then they're like everybody else, they're free to do so. But we should treat all employees the same, regardless, period.
Anyone else? I guess I need to address that. First of all, it was never said when we talked about raises that we were going to give everybody 4% across the board. Because when you give 4% across the board, the rich gets richer and the poor stay poor. That's exactly what happens. The people that are underpaid stay underpaid, and the people that are overpaid get bigger. So what we did, and I think it's as fair as you can be, we took surrounding cities, and again, I'm not going to name those cities. We took surrounding cities and we took what they paid their people doing the same job. Because that's who we're in competition with to try to keep our policemen, our firemen, our street department, those type of people. So we looked at them, and did some get a bigger raise than others? Yes, because they were further behind. So that's what we tried to do. We said that, I said that about 5 months ago, that in this budget, I was going to try to get our employees on equal footing with employees around us that we compete with every day to try to keep. It's exactly what I said. It's public record. I said that from day one. Yes, did some people just get 4%? Correct. Did some people get bigger money? Yes, they did. Because they were further behind the competition. And that's what we're up against. So that's what I tried to do. I met with every department head and went over it with them. And we talked about it. They talked to their employees. I think we're being very fair. And again, I want to be up front. Is there some people getting more than others? Yes, they sure are. But there's some people who are further behind those other people that we're competing against. We've got to find a way to keep our good employees here, and I think this is the way. Anything further? Call her up.
Councilman Anderson?
No.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans?
No.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. The next item is new business. It's Resolution 2031, a resolution approving Cigna Local Plus plan for city health insurance for employees from August 1st, 2022 through July 31st, 2023. This is where we approve it every year. No rate increase this year, but we have to approve it. That's what the state says. So I wanted to put that on here. Do I hear a motion we approve it?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Fuller. Councilman Holloway.
Mayor, we pay 100% of our employees' insurance and 25% for family. That's hard to meet, so I'm all for this resolution.
Councilman Fuller.
I agree with Councilman Holloway.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans?
Yes.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2232, a resolution reappointing Jan Wilson to serve on the Rockwood Civil Service Board from 7/1/2022 through 7/1/2026. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Fuller.
I know Jan will continue doing a great job.
Councilwoman Evans.
She's a great lady.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans?
Yes.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is Resolution 2233, a resolution reappointing Billy Wade McCulley Jr. to serve on the Rockwood Utility Board from 7/1/2022 to 7/1/2026. What's the will of the
So
council?
moved.
Got a motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Holloway.
Mayor, Mr. McCullough's been serving as board secretary, and he's done an outstanding job with that. He's retired bank auditor, so he knows the finances, so I highly recommend we reappoint him.
Councilwoman Evans.
I agree.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans? Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is approval to hire a police officer. The chief has made a recommendation of Tyler Baker, and I think he just got out of the military, is that correct? No, he didn't?
I thought
Okay.
that was.
And he's, we're gonna send him to the academy once he's hired, and that's the recommendation of the chief. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Bryant. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Bryant.
But he'll be good. I sit on an interview with him, and I think he will be an outstanding officer.
Councilwoman Evans.
We need him bad.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans?
Yes.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is approval to hire firefighter. The recommendation is Philip Frost by the chief. He's a lifelong resident of Rockwood, graduated from Rockwood High School in 2013, and he's a paid on-call firefighter with the department now, and this is the recommendation of the chief. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Wilson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bryant. Councilwoman Wilson.
I think that the chief knows if he's a good candidate, so I trust his judgment.
Councilman Bryant.
I echo that.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans?
Yes.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is approval to hire library assistant. As you know, we put that in the budget this year. We've been using all part-time people except for Margaret, so she asked that we put a full-time person in there, and her recommendation is Stacy Nelson, who lives on Burke Mill Road in Rockwood. This is a recommendation of Margaret. What's the will of the board?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fuller. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Evans. Councilman Fuller.
I'm sure Margaret has interviewed her and feels confident she can handle the job, so let's go.
Councilwoman Evans.
No.
Anyone? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans?
Yes.
Councilman Fuller?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, and the ayes have it. Next item is end of year budget amendments. As you see, we've got a bunch of them tonight. There's 16 of them. I'd like a motion to approve all of them together, and then we'll have Ms. Ruby go over them individually. What's the will of the council?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Wilson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Holloway. Councilwoman Wilson, would you like to yield to Ms. Ruppy?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Ruppy?
Most all these amendments are just moving money around within the same budget. On our legal notices, it kind of depends on how the payrolls fall. If we have certain weeks out of the year that, some months we have 3 payrolls instead of 2, but for some reason the city judges come out just a few dollars over, so we're just moving $100 from legal notices over to finish out her salary for the year. City attorney, Mr. Lefeu spends a lot of time working on back tax stuff and our demolitions and a lot of the other stuff we do. So I'm moving some money from professional services over to his line item to help cover some of those things. City Hall and Grounds, we just moved $300 we had for motor vehicle repair to building repair, and that's where we moved that money earlier in the year for the golf course. It kind of went over a little bit. General government, we're just moving money from property tax over to local government. Just because it's all within the same budget. The next one is police. We took money out of what he had left in health insurance and fixed some of his other line items. He's gonna have enough money left in his budget this year to buy the 2 vehicles that he's wanting. We don't know if we'll get one of them by June 30th or not. We may get them both after July 1. But if we do, we can take money out of the fund balance that he's turning back in this year. So it would still come out of this year's budget. The next one is fire. Same thing, we're just moving money over to help cover gas and oil. He had a lot of money left in his part-time wages, but his regular wages were up a little bit, so we fixed that too. Animal control, we had a gap where the previous officer left before the new one came on board. And so we had TCRS to come on that was new that we didn't have with the previous one because she was part-time. And our utilities, the reason that increases there is we had a bad leak at the animal shelter, and because it's not used, the water ran and ran for a while before anybody noticed it, so we had a big bill. That's why we're fixing that line. And then our shelter fees especially went up during the time when we didn't have an officer. A lot of animals were being taken up to the shelter, so that's going to be cut back some with our new employee. But that's all within the same budget. Building inspector, you guys and ladies voted to do the demolition of the downtown buildings, which was $63,000. And actually, it was more than 63, it was over 70,000, but we had some money already in the budget, so we took that excess building permit money and moved it to help cover that, and then the remainder will take out of the American Rescue Act. So the good thing about it is we've had all that excess, and we didn't have to use American Rescue Act for the whole thing. So instead of using 70, we only had to use 19. So that's a good deal. The next one is streets. That's basically just moving money around to cover his overage and gas. Garage, at the beginning of last year, our mechanic's probation was up and he got his raise following his probation, so his wages come in a little bit over. We just moved money around to fix it. In recreation, there's several different amendments, just moving money from one certain lines to another, and part of that's because we hired a director, and we used a lot of part-time this year, and we just moved money around, but that budget's gonna wind up okay at the end of the year. Golf, we're in the process of doing all the improvements out there, and they had a lot of mower issues this year. I had mowers to break, that's the one that we've been talking about replacing, and that mower is ordered and will be paid for out of American Rescue Act, but they've had a lot of repair. So we just took their extra revenue that they brought in to cover the extra repair. Library, she had several line items. If you look at her budget, she's got a regular budget and she has a budget that's just for grants. Well, her budget for grants, she got a lot of ARA money for the library. So we just got that money in. It was $13,808. And if you look down at the bottom, it just covers the things that she bought with the ARA grant. The next one is, we had an interest payment on the bonds with Regions that wasn't budgeted, and that was $500. We just moved it from finance over to cover that interest. The airport, we're taking their excess fuel sales and money that they did not have to pay out in wages. We use less part-time than we had planned on, and we didn't have as much consultant pay as we had budgeted. So we're just moving that down to cover fuel. We was hoping we would get to July 1 without buying more fuel, but we had to make a purchase today, and it's not cheap. So, but it's well within their budget, and they're still probably gonna make money at the end of the year.
We had to make it because, first of all, we needed the fuel, and we were told that if we didn't buy it now, that it would probably go up $1. So we had to go ahead and buy it.
But I think all that'll be fine too. The last one is State Street Aid, and same thing, we just had mower break after mower break. We've had a lot of things happen that was out of our control, and we had extra money in repair for the roads and streets, and we just moved money from there down to cover where the mowers had been broken. So, but all is well, everybody stayed within their budget, and unless something bad happens, it should turn out well through June 30th, and this will complete us for another very successful year.
Okay, Councilwoman Wilson, you have anything further?
No, sir.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Bryant?
Yes.
Councilwoman Evans?
Yes.
Councilman Ford?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes. Ayes have it, motion passes. Comments. Councilman Bryant, do you have anything tonight?
Thank everybody for being, coming out. Everything that's went well, I think, for the council and the public and the utilities, everything. I just appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Councilwoman Wilson.
We're planning to have a inaugural Labor Day event at Tom Fuller Park. There'll be more information coming out, so be on the lookout for that. It should be a good time. It should be an annual event for Rockwood.
Councilman Ford.
Well, I suggest everyone take a little trip down Pump House Road and look at the progress that the RV Park's making. And now that that's started, I believe you're going to see some more activity down there.
Anything further?
No, sir.
Councilman Holloway.
I'd like to say thank you to T-Dot and our city workers for getting Gateway repaired over here. It was bad indeed. I appreciate that work being done. I'm glad to see that the airport has some visitors out there from Strong County leadership, the adults and the youth. So some of them probably didn't know there's even an airport out there, so that's good that they got to visit out there. Just driving downtown on Rockwood Street and Front Street, that looks real good. Parking lot out the golf course, that really looks nice out there, so appreciate the city help on all that being done. That's all I have, Mayor.
Councilwoman Evans.
If a citizen has a complaint, whom do they call? Any kind of a complaint that we have, is there a central number that can be called?
They can call the city hall, yes.
Okay. And if this happens, I would request that any complaint that is made by a citizen, or any person for that matter, be written up and given to us as a council person. And because I'm getting complaints where they're getting short answers or no answers or nothing done. Now, we've hired a new man for our animal control and code enforcement, and I'm here to tell you, he is doing an excellent job. Absolutely on top of it. He's been here a month, and I guarantee you, in that month, he's already done more than what was done in the year before. That guy is fantastic. So if you see Ricky, tell him you appreciate him. And appreciate all of our workers. We've got fantastic people in our city. And I think they do a tremendous job. I just wish we were a little bit more fair in a lot of things that we do. But that's beside the point. But I do appreciate all of you doing an excellent job.
Councilman Anderson. Okay, first of all, I want to tell you about the R money. We put it in the budget. We agreed on, we talked about how we were going to spend it. We all know that, for example, I want everybody to know, you know, we're really wanting to get the police cars, and we're wanting to get one more truck for Rick down there at the garage, and try to get us one for the recreation. So we've been looking, or they've been looking, I asked them to look, we found something. Now, whether we're gonna get them before June 30th, I'm not for sure. They keep telling us we are, but we've not got them yet. So that will change how much money's in the budget when we get to that point. So I want everybody to be aware of it. Because if that comes in before June 30th, we hope it does, then, for example, the police cars, we'll take it out of this year's budget, and we won't have to fool with our money. So I just wanted to update you on that. The marina, if you hadn't been down there, they are really making hay down there. I guess it's this dry weather, they've been able to work a lot. They're doing a lot of clearing, it's looking good, and we're really tickled with that. Again, like Councilman Holloway said, the striping downtown and the striping at the golf course looks good. We really needed it, and it was a big plus for us. Our new codes enforcement guy is working really, really hard. He's had some tough ones I've called him about that he's had to go on, but he is getting them to clean it up, and that's the important thing. But we got to remember there's so many of them that it's hard to keep up with them. And plus he's trying to keep these yards, getting these yards mowed, but he is putting in a heck of an effort. Again, I want to tell you, those young people that we had here tonight, they are our future in this community. And I was fortunate enough that one of them's my grandson. I got to watch him play this weekend. But those kids play so hard and have such a good time. And those coaches do an excellent job with them. It's all positive, and I was just so proud of both teams. And that's the reason I wanted to have them here tonight before we went to state tournament. Again, that's a great accomplishment for a small community to be able to send two teams to the state tournament. That's a big deal, and I'm really proud of them. And I wanted to thank Kenny and Matt and Jacob and Xander, who's already left, for all the hard work y'all put in getting those fields ready and giving them practice time and everything. We do appreciate it because, again, that is our future. I want to, again, before we close, I want to thank all our department heads and all of our employees. Miss Rupi said it when she talked about the budget, how we stay within the budget like we're supposed to. We do a good job. And when we stay within our line items, then at the end of the year, we're able to purchase some things that we need and don't have to put it in the new budget. So it makes it easier on us that do the budget, plus it gives them the equipment they need. And they're doing a fabulous job. All our employees are doing a fabulous job, and our department heads are doing a fabulous job, and I appreciate it. The last thing, I want to thank Belinda and Becky for all the time and effort they put in on this budget. They've done a heck of a job. It's a tough thing to do, especially, I'm glad we got this R money, but I'll be glad we don't have to fool with it no more, because I'm telling you, it is hard to keep up with. They change the rules on it as we go, makes it a lot tougher. I mean, we're going to be able to do some great things with it, but it is really, really tough to keep up with it because they specifically say here and specifically say there, and you have to be very careful with it. So, again, I appreciate both of you all for the time and effort that y'all put in on this budget. It means a lot. That's about all I've got. Again, I'm so proud of those young people, and this community should be proud of them for what they've done. They've really done good, and we need to support them all we can. Do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Holloway. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Wilson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Of course, there be none.